There's Always a Price Tag is a crime thriller novel written by British author James Hadley Chase. Synopsis. Small-time freelance worker Glenn Nash rescues a drunken billionaire film director Dexter from being run over, and soon gets appointed by the latter at his Hollywood residence, much against the wishes of Dexter's glamorous and shady wife, Helen Dexter. Glenn sees the employment as an opportunity to become rich and famous, not knowing what is in store for him. Plot. Glenn Nash, a part-time multi-talented freelance worker, one day rescues Hollywood director Earl Dexter from being run over in a drunken state. The director soon takes him home and, impressed with Nash, appoints him as his personal assistant and chauffeur, much against the wishes of his beautiful but shady wife Helen Dexter. She repeatedly tells Nash to leave by offering him money, saying that he will get into trouble. But this only encourages the chauffeur to stay back and find out what is going on in that house. So he bluntly refuses to leave, and continues to work with Dexter. Soon Nash understands that Dexter is a heavy drinker and is actually broken in a few days' time. Will lose all that he owns to his creditors. He also notes that Helen is a glamorous but dirty woman up to no good, and Dexter has become like this only because of marrying her. He also investigates and finds that before marrying Dexter, Helen was involved with another man in New York who also was killed mysteriously. And though she tried, she could not get to his insurance money after his death. Dexter takes Nash into confidence and tells him about his financial status. Nash also realizes that Helen wants Dexter to die as soon as possible so that she can have $750,000 as his insurance money. Helen tries to kill Dexter many a time but fails to do so because of Nash being around. Nash then decides to play an evil game, wherein he can get Dexter's money and probably get his beautiful wife too. He confronts Helen and tells her that he knows all about her, but is willing to work with her to get Dexter's money. The two then conspire and try to figure out how to eliminate Dexter ASAP. Unfortunately, things take a different turn when one day Dexter calls both of them to his room and tells them what he has planned. He says that he is going to kill himself, and if it can be proved as murder, then Helen will get to his money after his death, but not if suicide. He also says that he has taken into confidence his lawyer and the insurance agent Maddox, who is known to identify any fake insurance claims easily, saying that he shoots himself. The stunned and shocked Nash and Helen decide to cover up the suicide and make it appear as a murder. The two of them hide Dexter's body in the freezer, and decide to cover up his disappearance until they can think of a suitable way to make it appear as though he was murdered. They tell everyone that Dexter is out of town on fresh business and will be returning soon. Finally, Glenn comes up with the idea of making it appear as though Dexter was very ill and always in his room in the house, and he decided to go to the sanatorium for further treatment. And on the way he and his wife were kidnapped for ransom, and so he has disappeared. They also appoint a housemaid Marion to act as witness in the house by telling her lies. Fate has it that Nash soon starts to hate Helen because of her behavior, and now begins to turn his eyes on Marion, much to Helen's disapproval. Their plan of disposing Dexter succeeds partly. They manage to get Glenn to act as Dexter in front of Marion and slip out of the house, and then plan to drive to a remote area, where Glenn would tie Helen up and inform police about her missing. And soon the news of kidnap would spread. But then things turn bad for Glenn Nash when, before tying Helen, he beats her black and blue to make her appear injured, and by doing so accidentally kills her. To add to his amazement and shock, Nash also discovers Dexter's will and finds that the latter has left everything in his name, including the insurance money. This makes things difficult, as if the police find it, it would appear that Nash committed the murders to get the money. Nash now tries to twist the story. He hides the will, and he tries to cover things up by making it appear that Earl Dester murdered his wife and then committed suicide. More people get involved in the case, including the police chief, Maddox, and Detective Steve Harmers, who has also appeared in other books of James Hadley Chase. Glenn Nash then decides to make the case appear as though Helen and Dester were on their way to the sanatorium against Dester's wishes. He killed Helen and then came back home and committed suicide. He even confides in Marion and tells her everything. The shocked girl simply leaves the house. Nash manages to pull out Dester's preserved body from the freezer and put it in his study and create a suicide scenario with a fake-typed suicide note. The police take note of the scene and leave. Nash then tries to escape from the city, but the police soon get the wind of what Glenn has been up to. Research about him, and he is soon nabbed. Trivia: the 1957 black-and-white French production, Retour des Manivelles, was based on this novel, also known as Delitto sulla Costa Azzurra in Italy. The film starred Michelle Morgan as Helen, Daniel Gellin as Nash, and Peter Van Eyck as Dester. A 2008 Indian version of the novel was made into a film called Maharati, meaning ace charioteer in Hindi. Directed by Shivam Dare and starring veteran actor Nasiruddin Shah playing the role of Dester, Paresh Rawal as Glenn Nash, Puri as Inspector, and Neha Dupia as Helen. The concept has been used in Hindi detective TV serials. http www.angelfire.com Celeb2 Hadley Chase price_tag htm http www.goodreads.com book show 521,218 there_s_always_a_price_tag http www.imdb.com title TT 1,334,254